Hello there. Welcome to the Drifting Spore. I'm Steve. It is a gray old day in Nova Scotia today. We've had some really, really cold weather lately, so it's been rough trying to get out, man. So cold. It's warmed up a little bit today. It's like one day out of every 7. We get somewhere under minus 10 Celsius, so today's the day. We had some snow last night, and the way the weather's been this winter, it's been like snow, then rain, then freeze. So, man, I'm telling you, you got to be some careful moving through the woods. If you step on a patch of ice right now, you're gone. So, very carefully maneuvering through the woods. I made my way to the Confluence, man. It's been a while. And I'm here fulfilling an obligation I made to a fellow bushcrafter and a really great guy, Mark Young. Mark had requested in my last video, I think, or the video before, that I show what's in my pack, man, what my loadout is. So I'm going to take care of that bit of business here today, and then we're going to do a little bit of a coffee challenge. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so let's get down to business here. What do I bring in the woods with me when I come? So number one is my pack. This pack here is a Highland tactical pack. I didn't know what it was when I bought it. I just saw it at a Winners for 40 bucks one time and grabbed it. And it has turned out to be the most versatile pack I have ever owned, man. It's so good. So let's work our way into the pack from the outside. First thing I always have on my pack is this here old pinch strap, man. I keep that around the top handle so that when I get to where I'm going, I can just put that around a tree. I am limited a bit in the size of tree I can put it around, but that's not a big deal because I've always got some paracord and stuff with me too. So that goes right there. Pinch strap on the top handle of the pack. So on the outside of the pack today, I've got my sitting pad, which is going to be more like a kneeling pad for me today. Everything's covered in snow because when I was on my way down bushwhacking, I got covered in snow. This here little pan that I carry on the outside is whatever stove I bring. I like to put this pan under it so nothing hot is getting to the ground on me. Now this Highland tactical bag, I don't know what size it would be. It didn't have any tags. It may have when I bought it, and I paid no attention to the tags when I bought it. So I would say it's like a 30-liter bag. Don't know. I'm also not real good with my bag sizes. So, but I have been able to get tons and tons and tons of stuff in it. I've done overnighters with it. It's a really good bag. I love all the outside tie-outs on it. I really like these here. The big plastic buckles are great. More webbing on the sides. But these side buckles here, that allows you to put like a sleeping pad there, or even I've had a tent strapped to that side, right? So much stuff you can attach to this bag. My ground sheet, or survival blanket, I guess it's called. I just got that the other day. It's a Huntington ton or something. Anyway, I forget the name of it. I just grabbed it off Amazon for something to put on the ground. It's reflective. It's a reflective survival blanket, right? It's supposed to be waterproof and everything. So far, so good. I like the look of it. So what else I run on the outside of my pack? My pack's got the chest clip and the waist belt. It's well padded on the back. On the straps, I like to run my flashlight and my compass and my rescue whistle. So that stuff's all right up front with me, easy to access, good to go. Especially the compass, man. I find I'm into mushrooms, right? So I'll see a mushroom somewhere and I'll wander off to go look at it. Next thing you know, I'm all turned around. So I make a point now, before I get turned around, to make sure I know which direction I'm heading, which direction I need to get out. Not so bad when you're on a waterway, right? Because downstream, upstream. But any other time I'm in the woods, I like to get my bearings before I go in or go off trail, which is pretty much all the time. Now inside the pack, let's start with the small pocket in the front. All those pockets have nice big zippers on them. I really like that. So the first thing, nothing's going to come out in a specific order. First thing is a survival blanket, Mylar blanket. What else do we got? This here is just an oversized heavy-duty garbage bag. Now this is something I really like having in the pack, man. This bag is big enough that if I needed to, I could put it right over myself and my pack and stay dry in a downpour, stuff like that, right? And any number of uses, a heavy-duty garbage bag, extra large size, any number of uses for that. And I've got an elastic band around it. I've got a battery bank. This is a INIU little battery bank. I bring it just in case. It's got a little paw, so it shows the charge. It's got a Type-C cord in it, is what you use to charge it. So everything I bring would take a Type-C charger anyway. So that's something I haven't had for a long time, but I needed something when I started doing overnighters, because the batteries on your gear doesn't last all night, right? So I found this to be great. I can charge my cell phone 4 times off that thing. It works really nice. What else do we got? Try to keep moving. A little bit of toilet paper in a bag. Thought I heard something. A little bit of toilet paper for obvious reasons. Always good to have with you. Backup small dollar store flashlight. I have a pair of needle nose vice grips. Those can come in handy. I've got a very small first aid kit. It's got, I'm not going to go through the contents. It's got all the normal things you would find in a first aid kit and some Advil, man. Because if you get a headache out in the woods, there's nothing worse than suffering all the way home, right? So if you get anything like that, good to have Advil in there. That's something I learned the hard way. So that's the end of the front pocket. I throw all that back in. Keep an eye out behind me in case you see anything. Now, the next bigger pocket, let's get into that. Okay, so the next pocket in, I've got, it's a little bit bigger. I've got some more stuff in there. Got my tinder pouch, which is not waterproof. It probably should be. I've got my fire lighting kit, which is just glasses case from the dollar store. It's got everything I need to make fire. I've got gloves for playing with fire, rather than use my good winter gloves for playing with fire. I have a folding saw. I am one of these people that sucks at sawing. Like, I'm the worst. So I tried a few different folding saws. Like, I'm not going out and getting a Silky or anything like that, right? This is a world famous saw and it works great, man. I've had no trouble with it. Easy to saw stuff with it. I really like it, and it was cheap, like 20 bucks. I keep hearing things. If you see anything darting around behind me, let me know in the comments. I do watch the videos for quality control, but you never know. So in the bottom of this pocket now is going to be all cordage, man. Paracord, a few different kinds of paracord, one full roll of paracord, some mason's twine, and that's it for that pocket. So paracord, mason twine, all that stuff. Cordage covered, saw is covered, tinder pouch, fire lighting kit, playing with fire gloves. So now let's get into the big part of the bag. So in the big part of the bag today, I have some things I will show you and some things I won't show you just yet. So I've got my small tripod, little gorilla pod. I've got a brand new mug. We'll talk about that in a bit. I've got this here. That's going to be something we talk about in a bit. I've got water. I've got this here is something we're going to set up in a minute. I've got my cooking kit. So today I'm just doing coffee today. So I've just got my kettle, and inside of it's all my gear to make coffee. And I like putting that in this, what used to be a coverall leg, pant leg, because that just keeps soot and stuff off the inside of my pack. I've got a poncho, tarp poncho. So if it rains, I can throw that on, and I can string it up with my paracord and make myself a dry little shelter if I want to, especially with this survival blanket and the Mylar survival blanket. Like, I'm pretty well covered. I could build a decent shelter if I had to. And almost to the bottom of this big bag is, I've got cordage, tent pegs, toggles, all in this bag here. That accompanies my poncho. And I have a backup alcohol stove, just in case. So that is it. So the empty bag, the bag also has a slot, like a laptop pocket, I guess they would call it. I like to use that to put, you can put anything flat in there, man. All kinds of stuff. But like I say, I make paracord bracelets, so those work really good to attach stuff on the outside of my pack too. Not much more I can say about that. For 40 bucks, man, I definitely got myself a really nice pack. I've had it for a couple years now, maybe a little bit longer, and I sometimes like to try to roll out with a haversack, but I find when you're haversacking, it's just too much, man. All this stuff is too much to put in a haversack, so I normally grab Old Faithful here in my Highland Tactical bag, and away I go. All right, let's throw what we're not going to need back in the bag. And that is everything I bring in my bag. Now, a couple things. On my person, I always wear a paracord bracelet, which has about 9 feet of paracord in it that I made myself. And on my belt, I carry 2 things on my belt. And people will say that, you know, it's unnecessary, but I've got a QSP Bison D2 knife, which is awesome, awesome knife. I've been using that for a long time. I've upgraded the sheath and modified it, so it's a survival kit in itself, really. I've got my ferro rod attached to the outside. Got a couple Ranger bands. I've got paracord on the sheath. I've got a large needle stuck under the paracord, right? Like, I really, really like this knife. I really like that I was able to modify the sheath that way. So if I got this knife with me, I got something, right? So now my second thing on my belt is something new that I got. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's the stenciled sheath for my Leatherman Wave. So I've always wanted a Leatherman. Never been big on carrying multi-tools. I sometimes would throw one in my pack, but you know, I never really bothered with them too much. But I saw this one for sale. A fellow I knew on Facebook had it for sale, so he wanted a little bit more than I was willing to spend on it, so I waited, and nobody grabbed it, and he lowered his price, so I grabbed it, and man, oh man, am I ever glad I did. So this has become my everyday carry right now. It's the Leatherman Wave. It's a multi-tool. It's awesome. I don't need to tell you about Leatherman Waves, but I never had anything like this, man. I had cheap multi-tools in the past. The blades on it are super sharp, and what I really love about it is all the blades lock, right? That's really a big deal for me, because I've had knives close on my hand before, and that's no fun. Now, I won't get into what I'm wearing particularly. I can give you a quick rundown. I don't like wearing big winter coats, man. Like, even when it's really cold, I'm not into wearing big winter coats. So I will wear layers. I layer up. So 2 pairs of socks, long underwear, a long sleeve base layer, like a waffle shirt, long sleeve waffle shirt, a t-shirt on top of that, a hoodie on top of that. My pants are lined. These are my winter pants, pretty much. I always wear these ones when I'm out in the winter because they're lined. So that gives me 3 layers on my legs with the outer layer. And just this jack shirt, man. I'm able to move in it. I don't feel like I'm fighting with my clothing when I'm moving through the woods. So that's why I do that. Toque, hood, right? Gloves. Oh, the other piece of kit that comes in the woods with me every time is my staff, man. My staff was provided to me by beavers a couple years ago, and I love it, man. I wouldn't go into the woods without it. Having a staff with you is just, this is one of my allies. This is one of my good friends. Comes with me every time. I've put paracord on it, ranger bands on it. I got Velcro tape on it. I made a little thing, had loops on it so I could use it for tarps, right? For pitching tarps and stuff, which is great. And then today I realized I could also clip my gloves onto it with a little carabiner so that my gloves aren't kicking around on the ground or anything. Love my staff, man. It's a very important piece of gear that comes with me every time I'm in the woods. So, that wraps up the business part of this drift. Let's get down to the coffee challenge part of this drift. Right on. I got a few things to set up, and you guys can watch me do some of that, and we'll see if we can get a coffee on the go. Okay, so step 1 for this drift, I move these poles over. Those are poles I had for my tripod chair. So I can put my alcohol stove back in my bag. I shouldn't need that. Now, first thing I'm going to try is this. Now, recently, this is obviously going to be a Mark Young coffee challenge. Recently, Mark sent me a box of stuff, man. And am I ever grateful for this box of stuff? And one of the things in this box of stuff that Mark sent me, this is kind of going to be what this video is about, is this here. And when I looked at it, I was like, geez, I don't even know what that is. And then I got pulling on it and opened it up, and I do know what it is. It's a hammock chair, I think. Mark, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I believe it to be a hammock chair. So I don't know if these 2 trees are spread out enough for this to work. So let's give it a try. I'm thinking you would just tie this off on one tree and then another, and then you should have somewhere to sit. I'm not going to really commit to the tying just yet until I see how long is this side. Oh, that should work pretty good. Okay, let's try it. I'm just going to wrap this paracord around here a few times. I'm going to bring it back on itself. Go around once more. And I'm just going to use a little slip knot there. And then another one with it. That way I should be able to get the knot undone when I'm done. Nice slip knot. Now let's see if I can get this other side done. I'm not saying I'm going to get this first try, because I've never tried a hammock chair before. Other than the one that I made. I think that looks okay. Let's run this through. Take it back on itself. And then throw a slip knot in that. Hopefully. Just like that. And one more just to be safe. There. Okay. Now, this might need adjusted. I might end up on the ground. Who knows? Let's give it a try, though. Oh. So it's a little low. I'll give it that. but it is comfy. I'm going to adjust that a bit higher. And then we're going to set up and get coffee on. Yeah, it needs to be just a bit higher, but that's feeling pretty good. Right on. Okay, so that hammock chair's at a really good height there now. I got a couple of sawn logs that I've had here at the Confluence for a while, and they come in super handy. First thing, one of the other things Marcus sent me is this Kuxa or Kuska? Kuxa, I think. Anyway, wooden mug. Talk about cool, man. I've always wanted one of these. I've tried to carve them myself and haven't had much success doing that. I can do spoons, but I haven't been able to do one of those yet. So I'm going to hang him right there. Thank you, Mark. This here, I'm going to put my pan on top of that stump, or that sawn log. This here is something Mark sent me as well. And was I ever excited to see this, man? If you've watched Mark's videos, you've seen this before. And I really couldn't be happier to have this thing. Let's have a look. So this is the Mark Young, or that's where I saw it. I'm pretty sure he saw it somewhere too, but I'm going to call it the Mark Young IKEA stove, man. Look at that. That is an IKEA utensil strainer, some nuts and bolts, some of those things to hold conduit against the wall, right, for the legs. And this here is a metal ruler for your pot stand. Look at that. That's so cool, man. And the stuff sack, I believe, to have been made by Mark himself as well. So cool. I am just over the moon with this, and I am really happy to be making a cup of coffee with this gear here today. So I've never done it with this stuff, so I guess that's what's going to make it the challenge. I'm going to putter around here and gather up some sticks and see if we can get enough going on to get a coffee on the go. All right. Woo. He's stretching, but he's holding. Hammock chair's just settling a bit. Okay. Let's get this stacked up and see what we can get going on. Now, normally, with most of my stoves, I would light them from the bottom. I don't think I'm going to do that with this one. I gathered up what I think will be enough sticks just to kind of fill it. So, let's try filling it up. And I think I'm going to try a top-down burn. It's my first burn in this stove. I've seen Mark run this stove. Not this one specifically. It's obvious this one hasn't been burned in yet. So I'm going to give it the first burn here today. Raking up all these sticks. Some of them want to stick out the holes. I'm thinking I'm only trying to boil a mug of water, so I shouldn't need to go nuts here with sticks. I'm lucky here at the Confluence, there's a good bit of softwood around, so I don't have any trouble finding dry sticks. But I do want to get enough in here that it's actually going to burn. And boil my water. Now, I need to leave enough room on top here to get some smaller stuff to get her started. which I have right there. Now, let's look in my Tinder bag first. I've definitely got some stuff in here. So I've got shavings and stuff in this. This was a pocket off a pair of cargo shorts. That's what that was. So let's take and just sprinkle some of this dry shavings down in here. I've got birch bark in here. I show you too. This is another thing Mark sent me. I've never tried this and I don't plan on using it today, but I will if I have to. It's a fire strip roll, fire lighting tape. I've never even seen this before, but if I need to, I'll use it. I should maybe have it in the plastic bag in there. Okay, there's some shavings. Now let's take a little bit of cotton, like I do, from my little cotton kit. This was just a loose tea holder, a David's tea holder that the wife had, and I scored that. And now I use my cotton ball and Vaseline goes in there. So I just want to make that like kind of nice. Had great luck with the cotton ball and Vaseline. Oh, another thing in my fire kit here. I've shown you my fire kit before, but I've got Mark also threw into the pack. He gave me a Fresno lens, man. That's something I haven't had and I've been wanting. So I'm glad to have that in my fire kit. I carry a Swiss Army knife, Bic lighter, some wax paper, cotton ball, tubes, and Vaseline, and my cotton and Vaseline, which is kind of my go-to lately. Okay, now let's get some of these fines on here too. Let's kind of move this, get this cotton moved around some. See if I can get, how's this going to work? Leave that out like that. Get these broke down nice and small, like that. And then maybe I can get that on there like that. Not quite. Let's spread it out some. Now, the problem's going to be... No. I thought it was going to be tough to get a spark in there, but I don't think. I think I'll be able to get a spark into my cotton. That'll settle down once it gets going. All right. Let's throw a spark at that and see if I can get it to light. My water's already ready to go. Oh, almost. Come on. Don't make me break out the fire tape. My cotton's right there. There we go. I got the cotton going now. Now, this is going to be my first ever top-down burn, so I don't know how this is going to go. I'll just give him a minute to get going. It looks like it's doing what it should. I don't know if I should throw my pot on now or wait. I'm going to put my pot on now. Oh yeah, that seems to be doing stuff. Looks good. Okay, I better not fool around here. I got to get my coffee ready. That appears to be burning from the top down pretty good. So there's my coffee kit. I'll put just a wee bit of sugar in the bottom of my cup. Not much. Just a little bit. Oh yeah, that's working. I got my silicone pour over device. which has been serving me very well for a couple bucks off Amazon. I've never tried it with the cook sub, but there it is. I'm gonna say I'm digging this hammock chair, man. This is gonna provide some nice relaxation here in a minute. Get just a basket filter here for my coffee. Like I say, it's about, car was saying -4 on the way here. So I would say it's right around that. Maybe a little bit colder. Tucked in here at the Confluence, so out of the wind, man, it's just nice. Yeah. Wouldn't mind leveling that mug out a little bit. There we go. That's better. Perfect. Ooh, my IKEA stove's really going now. Oh, cool. Careful now. She's singing tight. But even if, like, I got lots of paracord, even if I did happen to break this paracord, I got more. I don't think it's gonna, though. It's just zinging. Oh, the heat off that feels nice, man. Beautiful. Look at that. Right on. Man, that's cool. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take very long for my water to boil in that. Very nice. That water's almost to a boil there now. Very close. What a beautiful afternoon, man. This is definitely one of my favorite spots to come, that's for sure. Sounds like my water's boiling. Oh yeah, I got a rolling boil there now. Cool. Uh-oh. Yeah, the pot stand stuck to my pot. The heat off that stove feels great. I would say in just a couple minutes, it's going to be out. That's perfect, man. It's nice and light, but it's big enough that you can still nest a bunch of stuff in it too, right? There was so much stuff in the box Mark gave me. You'll see it as the videos go on. And I will be sure to be giving Mark credit for every piece of gear that he sent me, man. So appreciative of it all. It was so unexpected, but he really leveled up a lot of my gear, man. Oh yeah, my first coffee in a wooden mug. And that stove's almost out already. If I wanted to cook on that, I could just be throwing sticks in that, and I'd be cooking, man, no problem. Pretty cool. No, there's still a bit of coffee in there yet. There we go. The stove's pretty well out. Oh, wrong one. Take that out. I just shove these in for a little bit more ambiance, if they'll even burn. Just give that coffee a little stir. We can go in my kettle. All right, here we go. My first taste of coffee in a wooden mug. Sure smells good. Oh, that's strong. Woo! That is nice. That's nice and strong coffee right there. Gorgeous. Mm. That's so nice, man. Well, Mr. Mark Young, this cup's for you, my friend. Thank you very much. When I started into, it was mushrooms, really, polypore mushrooms, that led me to Mark Young. When I started looking for who knows things about mushrooms in Nova Scotia on YouTube, I was led to Mark. And he taught me all about the mushrooms through his videos that I wanted to learn about. He taught me everything I needed to know, man. I did a lot more research on my own, but he pointed me in the right direction on so many of those mushrooms, man. And he really fueled a passion in me. And then it led to bushcraft and led to some herbs and trees and weeds and stuff like that too for me. So forever grateful to Mark. He's been kind of my unbeknownst mentor. I've been using him as a mentor without him really knowing. He saved me a lot of troubles with his stoves and stuff, inspired me, giving me ideas on different things I can do and make out in the woods, right? Skills to practice. Mark's just been a great resource for all of that. And I became lucky enough to have him reach out to me quite a while ago. And his support for me and my channel is something I will never forget, man. So, Mark Young, with all my gratitude, man, this coffee challenge is for you. Thank you very much. Well, there we have it, folks. It was the Mark Young Coffee Challenge. Mark, that cup was for you, man. That stove you gave me worked awesome. The hammock chair worked awesome. The cup is awesome. I love it all, man. I can't wait to use all the stuff you sent. And I will. I'll get around to it all for sure. And I'll be talking about you every time I use it too. Don't you worry about that. So I'd like to encourage everybody who watched this video, go check out Mark Young's channel, man. He's got a ton of videos. He shares a ton of knowledge when it comes to bushcraft, the outdoors, anything relevant to Nova Scotia in that respect. That's what I appreciate the most about it, because it's all stuff here where I am, and it all makes a lot of sense to me. So anyway, what a beautiful little bit of time at the Confluence. Couldn't be happier, man. The hammock chair was so comfy. Everything was perfect. Not much of a challenge at all, really. Just a lovely coffee in the woods. So anyway, that cup's for you, Mark. Time to head her back upstream, I guess. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, and remember, folks, you will never find anything unless you get out and look. Go have a look, man. It's worth it. Bye for now.